welcome back to my channel. I spent this morning, a bit of an update, I spent this morning doing some organising with my support worker. I'm filming today on Tuesday. I do normally film and produce videos on Wednesday, but tomorrow, Wednesday, I'm hoping on potentially attending a meeting, which I might talk about if I do attend, and I haven't decided yet if I am attending. It's just something I want to attend. If I do attend, I'll try and talk about it in a future video, but that's why I'm filming today instead. So yeah, my support worker came around this morning as per usual, 9:30 to 12:30. We went to M&S and we both got, as it's a quite nice routine, to have like what I call a fika break. Fika, by the way, is the Swedish tradition. Obviously I don't live in Sweden, I live in the UK, but I'm interested in Swedish customs, and fika is a Swedish coffee break. My support worker at the moment is helping me to organise all of my files and my books, because I've recently moved into a new place. So she's helping me to organise all of my books and to put them into alphabetical order in my bookcase. So we did that today. We started doing that last week. It's taking forever, but I put all my autism books together. So that's autism, fact and fiction books in alphabetical order, and then I've put all of my books relating to like psychological themes together, books relating to philosophy and politics together, and books relating to history together, and then I've got a sort of miscellaneous sort of collection of books that don't really fit into any category. I'll be putting quite a few of those in my porch, because I've got a bookcase in my porch, so I'll be putting some of those in there. And some in my bedroom and some in my wardrobe room, so just kind of like sorting all of my books. And then as a kind of like motivation and reward, we had like a fika break halfway through. So before we started organising, we went to Marks and Spencer's and I got an almond and hazelnut croissant, which was really nice. It actually had a kind of like a marzipan-y filling, so it was really almondy. And I think my support worker got a Danish pastry. And so we took that back. I did the organising, obviously with my support worker's help. It's really, I mean, I did it, but like I need someone there to help me kind of like do it, because otherwise, procrastination station, I don't tend to do it. I need to do it in a sort of like structured routine, because I'm really bad at like, I really like things to be well organised and well ordered, because it makes everything feel so much better, and I hate clutter, but I find it really quite stressful to get started and do it, because it's something I have to think about and it's different to my usual routine. So I kind of I like needing to have that sort of like structure and someone there kind of like motivating me to do it. So then, like, as a reward for doing that, we had our fika break at about 11:30, so I made us some coffee. I got these beautiful latte mugs the other day when I was down in Tesco, like these really tall mugs. I've got two of them, but I might well go and get a third, because like now I feel like I need a third to make the collection complete. But they're just beautiful mugs. I might show you them in another video, not now because I have to go and get them because they're still on the other table, but I might show you possibly in another video. They're really, really nice mugs, really tall mugs. So yeah, so we had that, and she's left a couple of minutes ago. Okay, so in this video, I just wanted to, like, again, do a bit more feedback on the social communication, because I made some notes, and I was going to do this last week, but there wasn't time. Just really feedbacking on some of your comments, one commentator says that the non-verbal aspect of communication is vital. I feel a major difficulty for autistic individuals is their perceived body language, which neurotypicals often perceive as negative, cold, defensive, anxious, or just weird. For example, the facial expression of an autistic person or their stance may give off these signals before an interaction starts, and may get it off to an awkward start, which may, just turn the page, which may be hard to rectify. These signals are much harder to control than actual words, which may be perfectly polite, but the other person may still be thrown by the apparent inconsistency. Now, I felt this was spot on, and I've heard it said that most information is communicated via non-verbal means, so having a good grasp of words and written direct language provides little indication of how well you can communicate in a social or non-verbal context, and I think that's also why I often feel kind of like cut off from the other person. Like, I find it really hard to form a connection with the other person, because I can't read their non-verbal cues. It just feels quite mechanical. The correspondent adds that communication differences never exist without linked interaction difficulties. This makes sense to me and explains why it's really a fool's errand trying to separate the two. It's reassuring to know that there is no real need to do so, although, as I said in my previous video, I still obsess about it. I would add that communication issues can exist without autism, but the difference is that in autism they always occur together with, as the correspondent said, the social interaction difficulties. It's the social communication that's impacted as opposed to communication per se. After all, I can communicate well via writing, that has been well thought out if I'm communicating information, but really struggle to communicate less tangible areas such as feelings. For a start, I often really don't know how I'm feeling, aside from the fact that I'm always tense and stressed. And obviously as I was growing up, my parents would tell me that I was anxious and stressed and, oh, just relax, Anna, my mum would often say. So obviously there's always been this background, kind of narration about the fact that I'm an anxious person that my parents would explain as me being, anxious. And so that's the kind of ongoing, I guess the only real kind of feeling I can say that I have is anxiety, because it's always been there in my life and other people have told me that that's what it is and so on. But apart from that, I can't really identify feelings very well, and let alone communicate them well. I can't do that because often I can be really tense and yet my face won't be showing it at all. So often, because I tend to look, my baseline is to tend to look rather neutral, or even sometimes I guess overly cheerful, and maybe that's like a sort of defensive mechanism for covering up the anxiety. People don't tend to notice it, and I can't really communicate it, which can be quite alienating. So yeah, feelings is an issue. The correspondent says that people with autism can struggle to vary expressions, the tone of voice, and this can lead to inconsistency with the words that are said, which can lead to confusion from others. They call it the wooden actor syndrome and say it can mean autistics are judged like unconvincing actors who may say the right things but are deemed to do so without feeling. This is a good explanation, and I feel it explains why social actions can feel very awkward and alienating. I try to put on an act, but I can never carry it off in a totally convincing way, or the mask is only half on. My social problem is only partially camouflaged. So, I can camouflage to the extent that other people usually wouldn't pick up on the fact I'm autistic unless they were really well versed in autism. But I think you still send out some signals that other people find it hard to decipher, and I think that's part of the reason why even those with autism who can put on a good act still end up feeling alienated, as though they can't form a connection with other people. Socialising feels mechanical as I lack that innate understanding. Another commentator says that non-verbal cues are unconsciously understood by most people. They mention a book about small talk written in the 60s by Desmond Morris called The Naked Ape, which I will try and read, sounds a good book. Morris says that small talk carries the same function as chimpanzees grooming each other, a social bonding function. The correspondent adds that they can imagine small talk interactions reveal all sorts of unspoken interaction: person's economic or social status, potential friendship, friend or foe, moral values, general mood, interests, etc. This is the most interesting analysis, and I will try to learn more about social grooming and how it relates to human evolution. So thank you all very much for your comments. It will be most informative. Before I finish this video, I do want to say, do please like my video. The more likes, the better, because it will get my video, help get awareness on my video out there. So do please like my video, do please subscribe, do please raise awareness on my video to other people who might be interested in hearing about autism. And do please hit that notification bell so that you're notified when I release new videos. Okay, so I'm going to move on to video number 2 now, because I would like to show you a book which ties into this social communication topic quite nicely. So moving on to video number 2 now.